Hi, I'm Mike,
Hi, I'm Jalene, and
and
we
we
love
love too fast.
us.
So, Jalene, what have you got for us today?
So I had a friend reach out to me, and she was feeling concerned because she's been fasting since June, and
Okay.
she felt like the scale wasn't moving fast enough.
Mm,
Yeah. So we
that's
did,
that's a that's a very common problem.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did kind of a deep dive, and I asked her a few questions. I always ask at least 5 questions before I dive into it. And
Okay.
the first question was, are you fasting clean?
Yes.
She was. And then I asked her what her goal was. Because we know if your goal is deeper than weight loss, then it becomes a lifestyle. You're more apt to stay with it if your goal is deeper than just weight loss.
Yes.
And I also asked her to run her stats through the SMART BMI, which is the old BMI is archaic. It doesn't take in consideration your age, your body composition, so many different factors. So once we ran her stats, what we really discovered was she is in a healthy weight range. It might
Okay.
not be where she wants to be. It might not be where she was at in her 20s, but she's definitely in a healthy range. So I suggested that she just keeps fasting clean and with body recomposition and maybe just a little bit of weight training, she might see more results and feel happier about it.
That's interesting that you mentioned weight training because three almost a month ago when I went back for my follow-up appointment on my knee replacement, that was one of the things that my orthopedic surgeon talked to me about. He said he had just read a book about elderly people or senior citizens or whatever, and weight training.
Mm-hmm.
And he said after reading that book, and it was written by another doctor who was a sports doctor who worked, all his career with football teams, and he talked about how great that should be included. So I'm all on board with that. I think that weight training and cardio is great, but you also need strength too,
Yeah.
and strength is going to help you all through your life in all different kinds of ways. So
Well,
yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that and that you hit on that. And I like your 5 questions.
yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important to look at the whole picture because if you're only looking at the scale, it just doesn't give you enough information. Like,
And
I'm just
and
not a fan of the scale anymore. In fact,
and I
I'm
yeah.
I'm considering just tossing mine.
Okay. I if I forget to do it, would you please post a link in the comments to that Smart BMI?
Yes, I will.
It's just online. I went to it the other day and looked at mine, and uh, I'm in a range where I'm still considered obese, but I'm in more of a healthy range, far more than what I was when I first started this thing. So
Yeah.
so I was encouraged by that.
How long have
All
you
right.
been fasting again?
Uh, in February the 1st, it'll be a year.
Okay, so you're still a baby.
I'm still
Still a
I'm
baby in the fasting world.
and I'm still learning all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I think that another problem that the person that you were working with, and we don't need to mention any names, no need for that, because it's such a common problem.
Just gonna say that.
Um, I think part of the problem, and when you said a while ago, if you're in it for the weight loss and not for the other stuff, then it's not really becoming a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people are still looking at intermittent fasting as almost like a diet.
Mm-hmm.
And that diet mentality gets thrown in there far too easily, because I see so many questions about, well, what if I can eat this, or what if I don't eat this, or what if
Mm-hmm.
it's it's a lifestyle change, and the more we emphasize that to people, I think the better off that they'll be, and the better that they'll do with intermittent fasting.
Exactly. And we're all so different. So the foods that work for me and my body are probably not the same that work for you.
That's right.
It's definitely not a diet. It is.
That's like the last time we were on together. We were talking about the carbohydrates, uh, and how some people need those carbohydrates to help them sleep.
Yeah.
There's Rosemary. Hey, Rosemary.
Hi, Rosemary.
And and so we are all different. We've established that over and over again. And me, another point that I wanted to bring up was how, in the fact that we're all different, is when I had my knee replacement surgery, and they had to put the largest appliance in there that they had in stock.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the doctor told me, he said, it almost scared me. He said, because once I cut your knee open and got to looking at it, he said, oh my God, I hope we got one in stock big enough, because I would hate to have to close you back up and then open it back up again after, ordering. So we are all different.
Yeah.
And with me, I have this huge bone structure. And at 290 pounds is where I'm at right now. I started at 365 and I'm at 290. Okay. And I'm kind of it's almost like I'm maintaining at 290. But I feel so much better than I did at 365. And I can do so many more things that even if this was where I was to stop, I would still be happy.
Yeah. And you look like a totally different person
Well, I
from the
feel,
pictures of you before
yeah,
to now, like totally different.
and I feel totally different, you know. I feel totally different. It's the same way with you. I look at you now, and then I look at pictures, that you posted way back when, and I'm like, yeah, boy, you can tell the difference there.
Yeah. Totally different person. It's crazy.
So when people are saying, I need to lose more weight, I need to lose more weight. Okay, that's like Graham Curry. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's 6'5". I'm 6'1". Graham weighs about 220 pounds, and he looks like a beanpole.
Yeah.
He does. He looks really, really slim, but he's 6'5". Okay, I'm 6'1", and if I weighed 200 pounds, I would look like a beanpole too. So I'm saying to myself, where do I want to stop?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I've come to this realization, Jalene, here's where I want to stop, wherever my body tells me to stop.
Yeah.
And that's my goal.
Yeah. That's
When
exactly.
I Yeah, when I first started this, I said, oh, I want to be down to 200 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been, that's almost 180 pounds of weight loss, but that's 165 pounds from where I was. But what if that's not where my body wants me to be?
I had to
So,
I had to make peace with that too, because when I first started, you probably remember I didn't weigh myself for the first 6 months, and I did 16.8 for the first year.
say that
Okay,
again.
I didn't weigh myself for the first 6 months,
That's
and I
incorrect. Incredible.
And I did 16.8 for the first year because I wanted this to be a lifestyle. I believed Jen when she said, this is a lifestyle. And I didn't want to get caught up in the diet mentality. So it worked really well for the first year, but I did get a little sucked in to that diet mentality once I lost all the initial weight. Then I thought, oh, well, I really liked the way I looked when I was 20. You know, I want to be, 120, 125. And my body was like, no, that's not where I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be a little bit curvier. And I had to be honest with myself. When I was 120 in my 20s, I had an eating disorder. And do I want to go back
No.
there? No. I'm 55. I'm 55. So,
Are you?
mhm.
I was going to say that now that you're 30 years old,
Aw.
but apparently I'm not going to get away with that because you just revealed to us. Well, you're 55
Yeah, I just turned 55.
and your metabolism is totally different than what it was when you were 20s.
Yeah, yeah.
Mine too. When I was 20 years old,
Thank you, Rosemary.
what did she
She
say?
said I look fabulous. You're so
when
sweet.
when I was in my 20s, I could eat all day
I
long,
know.
and I wore a size 30 pants. I was just,
Yeah.
it was incredible. But then when I turned 40 years old, everything changed. Everything.
Yeah.
It here's one point that will emphasize. I loved orange juice. I would drink orange juice by the gallon when I was growing up and stuff. And mama kept me in orange juice. When I turned 40 years old, I couldn't drink it anymore. Something just a switch got flipped and
Hmm.
something in my metabolism changed. And if I drink orange juice right now, I'll get a sour stomach and
Me too.
it's, and,
Yeah.
but here's the crazy thing. I can drink all the grapefruit juice I want. You say,
Interesting. So
yeah.
interesting.
So all of us, that goes back to the thing, all of us are different. But that also goes to the thing that as we age, everything changes too.
Mhm. Can you
And go ahead.
can you eat an orange?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because the fiber, it's like
Yes.
real food. Once
Yes.
you juice it, you lose most of the fiber. So I bet that's
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. And that reminds me to another video I watched this morning. The guy was talking and he said, okay, you got food, then you got processed food, then you got highly processed food. He said, where does it become highly processed? He said, let's take an orange. And he used an orange. He said, you peel an orange, you're starting to process it.
Hmm.
He said, then you break the orange into segments and you're processing it. And he said, but that's a good processing.
Yeah.
It's just like slicing an apple into slices.
Yeah.
You're processing it. He said, but when you take things that are not food and turn them into a food type item,
Hmm.
then you've crossed over, you know. And so that's, no, I can eat all the oranges I
Yeah.
want, but
And I still think orange juice is better than, let's say, soda.
oh gosh,
Yeah. And
yes.
I mean, I know some people drink soda still occasionally, and I am not trying to vilify it, but orange juice is still better than soda. But an orange is a better choice in for my body, anyways.
Well, that's like me. You know, I used to enjoy a beer every now and then.
Me too.
And if I buy a 12 pack, it would probably go bad in the refrigerator because I would only drink one when, I think I'd like a beer.
Hmm.
And then I'd drink one beer and that would be it. But I've given that up and now I'm to the same point I'm that way with soda.
Yeah.
There are sodas in there by Vicky's computer in her little office. We've got some ginger ale in there for whenever. Ginger ale is so good when you got a bad stomach or whatever.
Yeah.
We keep ginger ale in there, and we both, Vicky and I, love root beer. So we'll keep some root beers in there of a particular brand that we like, and every so often I'll have one. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not guzzling it down every day. You know, here I am with my black coffee and my water, and
Me
you
too.
know.
See, you can tell I'm in my 50s when I'm drinking out of a Golden Girls
Oh
cup.
my goodness. And this one says, you know, I'm a dad of a freaking awesome daughter, and she bought me this cup. Yes.
I love that.
But it went away. I want you to talk for a minute about your last 10 pounds.
It took me about a year to lose all of the weight that I gained during menopause, and I still had about 10-ish pounds that I really wanted to lose, and it took me a solid year. It really did.
A year.
The last 10. And I didn't stress about it because I felt really good where I was at anyways, and I was in a smaller size than I thought I could ever be, even though I wanted to lose 10 more pounds. So it slowly came off, and it did. And I've been in maintenance I considered myself in maintenance even with that 10 pounds. So I've been in maintenance for about 2 years, but my maintenance is not a number, it's a range. I think I talked about this last time. It's about a 5 to 7 pound range. I like to keep it at the lower end, but it's a range.
Well, that's where I'm at right now. I mean, you know, I say 290, you know, from 365 to 290, 75 pounds, whatever. But
Yeah.
for some reason, and part of it is because I'm not as hardcore as I used to be. You know, I was the ADF king there for a while,
You can't
but
not.
but now that Vicky is fasting with me, and she's doing really good. Bless her heart, she's doing really good with it.
Yay.
Now that she's fasting with me, I wanna be with her,
Mm-hmm.
and she wants to be with me. So our schedule. I mean, she came to me a few minutes ago. It's past 11 o'clock now. She said, "Do you want a piece of toast with some jam on it and some of this sausage that I'm cooking?" I said, "No." I think I'll wait a little while,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I will, and I'll do that sometime this afternoon. But I want to be there with her, so that has slowed down my thing a little bit. But I'm staying within that 5 to 7 pounds like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I do that, you know, all of my clothes still fit. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I put on my honesty pants and
Yes, that's another thing. If this scale is driving you crazy, put it away and use your honesty pants and take measurements. But if
yeah,
you do use the scale, it's important to weigh yourself every day and do a weekly average.
an
Yeah,
average. That was one of the things that Wendy taught me.
yeah. Because then you
Uh,
can really see what's happening. Because, our weight fluctuates so much. But when you get the weekly average, you can see, I lost like 0.2 this week and that's still losing.
I'm almost to the point where I'm like thinking along where I just need to put the thing in the closet
Yeah.
and just go by how I feel and the clothes that I wear. I got a huge pile of clothes that I'm fixing to donate.
Well, that's the best feeling.
I'm still going through the closet picking out things, you know, but they're really nice clothes.
You don't need
You know,
them.
they're nice.
You don't need them.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, listen. So if you're still looking for that 10 pounds, and I'm talking to the people out there now, if you're still looking for that 10 pounds or that 20 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
just keep fasting
Yeah,
and it'll happen.
exactly.
Don't stress over it,
Can I tell you
and don't
a quick I was listening to a podcast. Can I tell you something about it really quick? Did you freeze? I think.
Yeah, we froze up. Go ahead now.
Okay, so I was listening to a podcast, and it was a man who runs a gym. He's a personal trainer, and he said he was working with clients, and the first thing he does when they come in, he brings in one of his assistants who's also a personal trainer, and he asks these people to try to guess how much this woman weighs.
Oh,
Which is so weird, right? So I guess she's really tiny. She's like my height, maybe 5'3", maybe 5'4". And everybody guessed she was about like 120, 115. I think the highest was like 123. She weighed 136 pounds because she's
muscle.
solid muscle. And
Yes.
so he said, people, put your scale away. Put your
Yeah.
scale away and focus on fasting, eating clean, and getting in some exercise and muscle training.
And me going to the gym, I've been going 3 days a week, and
That's
at the advice of one of my gym rat buddies, I'm going to start going 4 days a week.
wow.
And so I'm seeing the scale just rise up a little bit and just kind of hover there. But I know what it is. It's muscle instead of, I'm gaining some muscle. So, and that's okay. And during this whole thing of body recomposition, as I gain muscle, then I'll lose fat also.
Yeah.
And so it'll all level out. And then next thing you know, I'll be buying some smaller clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. Our goal is
But
to be strong.
yes,
Yeah.
is to be strong and to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're healthy and you have strength and you have life and you enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're still getting to enjoy the food that you like to eat, hey, you're a winner.
I agree.
Listen, let's wrap this one up today. But
Okay.
if you're watching this on YouTube later, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. It's not for me for a monetary reason or anything. It's just so that you'll know whenever new things are posted on YouTube. If you're watching this on the live event, know that I'm going to edit it and put it back on YouTube so you can be able to watch it over and over again and send it to your friends and share it. And I hope you find these things share worthy, these little talks with Jalene and Mike. And I think you will. Been great.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
I'm so honored to be able to chat with you.
No, I'm honored to be here with a veteran like you. So I'm the one that's honored, and I can wave you off too. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Y'all have a great day.